How do you analyze a script to find your character? Hi guys, Ruggero here from One Foot in the Door, and I've got this very interesting question from Luck and Boone. So Luck and Boone asks, can you make a video holding a script in your hand and finding character from it? So I've got my script here in my hand, and I'm going to go through what we can do to analyze a script and, be effective in the way we look at this, okay? Now this is quite a long and complex topic, and so I've decided to split this into two. And also guys, for the record, there's so much to say about this. So I go way more into detail about it in my online screen acting course, Unboxing Screen Acting. Volume 1 is out now. You can get a free lesson for it. Check out the link below. And Volume 2, which will deal exactly with this type of thing, is coming up later in the year, okay? Anyway, let's start first of all by reading the script, which is obviously, the first thing we need to do, okay? So, internal office night. Richard stares out of the window, nervous. The door opens, Jason comes in.
Did anyone see you come in?
Only everybody on the street.
Well, I told you to come later.
Relax. James Bond, nobody gives a shit.
You went too far.
You told me you wanted them in hospital.
Yeah, well, you left them paralyzed.
Well, I guess I won't be coming after your job anytime soon.
Here, it's more than what I said.
That's not what we agreed, man.
There's more than $4 grand in there.
What, you making like, 15 minutes? Come on, man, I told you I want a job.
Well, I can't give that to you. Look, you barely graduated high school, okay? There's no way they're gonna give you a job.
Hire me yourself then. Personal assistant, I'll work my way up from there.
What, have a thug working for me? I can't do that.
I don't think you understand, bro. You know what you made me do to your friend Mike? I could do the same thing to you, man. Or worse. You like the idea of spending the rest of your life sitting on a chair and eating from a straw. I start tomorrow at 9. Full pay, health insurance, and the rest of it all. You just make sure you got my paperwork ready in the morning. Do we have an agreement? Good.
All right, so that is a script, okay? So the first thing we need to do when we get a script is not just to read it, but to go through it and pinpoint the important information that the script gives us. Obviously, this is just one scene, okay? If you're lucky enough to be cast in a movie and to have a longer, maybe the whole script, or at least part of the whole script, there will be much more. But even just from one scene, there is a lot that we can learn, okay? Now, let's assume that we are playing the character of Jason, all right? So, what do we know from these things, from this, just the script, okay, just the lines? We know a few things. First of all, Jason wants a job. He literally states that in the lines. He wants a job, but he doesn't have any education. He is probably poor because of what the situation is, because what we're being told, and he has some kind of violent past, probably. Again, we don't know exactly if him beating this Michael person was the first time he did it or not. Probably not. By the casual way, the way he's talking about doing violence, we can probably assume that it was not his first time, okay? So someone with a violent past, but who wants to better himself, okay? On the flip side, we also need to understand a little bit of Richard. Never make the mistake of just looking at your character, okay? Try and understand as much as you can of the whole story, all right? This is always valid, whether you're playing the lead character or a minor one, it doesn't matter. But the more you understand everything, so how the whole story goes and how your character fits into that story, the more effective you'll be able to be in the way you analyze the script, okay? So what do we know about Richard? So Richard is clearly richer. He works in some kind of big company. We don't know, maybe he's a solicitor, maybe he's some kind of job that would require Jason to have an education, to have some kind of degree or something. He is very career focused and to the point of, you know, going as far as hiring Jason to beat up this Michael guy who was going after his job. That's what we get from the script, right? At the same time, we also see that he had overpromised something. He had promised to Jason what Jason wanted to hear, the fact that he could basically get him a job, and instead that was a lie. We also see that from the top he knows that he's done something wrong towards Jason, and he tried to make it better. He tried to make it better by giving him more money. That tells us that already he is probably a bit intimidated by Jason. You know, the kind of person that is ruthless enough to hire someone to beat up a colleague probably doesn't feel bad about lying to him. This is about protecting himself. It's about the fact that he is scared of Jason, okay? So these are all things that we can gather from the script, okay? Now, the first thing you want to do once you've got all the facts, so I would recommend write them down, okay? You write them down literally as bullet points. And then you need to fill in those gaps. You need to fill in the gaps in a way that makes sense. So you don't want to come up with some kind of crazy backstory that would totally influence the script. So, for example, again, if you're playing Jason, you don't want to come up with the backstory that they are long-lost brothers that were separated at birth and Jason found out about it, because that's not there. That's not there at all, in any way, okay? And it is something that would most likely influence your performance too much. So you need to analyze the script and understand what is your role in this. So if we are analyzing this, and let's say that this was a scene from a movie, and it is the only scene where the character of Jason is present, so it is Richard's story, okay? I'm assuming this because we would have more. If this was Jason's story, obviously we would have the whole script to go through, to analyze, to look at, okay? But if this is what you have, there is still a lot that you can do from this, okay? And there is still a lot of backstory and stuff you need to create for yourself to make it make sense, basically, and to really get into the character, to manage to create an interesting performance out of this. So if this is the only scene that you have as Jason, okay, or it could be that, for example, this is an audition piece and there will be more, but this is what you get for the audition, so you need to prepare it as much as if this was it, okay? You need to figure out a way. So how does this work? What is the main dynamics here, okay? So the point of this scene is that Jason puts Richard on the spot. He threatens him, he blackmails him, and forces him to agree to something that he didn't want to do, okay? Now, how you go about playing this and making the choices is, there are a lot of different options. But, and we'll look at that in the next video. But as I said, this is the first thing to do, is to figure out what are the useful information we can get about who this person is. So in terms of both the backstory and his relationship with all the characters that we see in that scene. You write them all down as bullet points, and those are the foundation of your work. Everything else that you build up on top of that has to support those foundations. It can't be something that is completely out of it, completely outside the logic of these basic pillars, okay? So, guys, I'll talk to you again next week, okay, for the second part of this video. And in the meantime, let me know what you think in the comments below, okay? Thank you very much. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.